The Airbus Beluga, one of the most iconic planes in this world. But in PTFS, its model is getting very old and it doesn't look good. But good news, it is actually getting remodeled very soon. But in the meantime, when we still have this horrible model, let's compare it with the upcoming new one, which is much better, I'd say. Firstly, starting off with the exterior of the Beluga, the old model. Now, if you look at this from a distance, you'd say that it looks fine, I guess, but just take a closer look and you'll see some weird anomalies, such as the cockpit windows here. They are very square and angular, not that smooth as in real life. And also, what else can I critique here? And that is the tail. Yeah, to be honest, overall it doesn't look too bad at all. Just probably the mesh and shading stuff here, which is not very smooth and it kind of pokes out a bit. But other than that, I think it's fine really for an old model. Except for the landing gear, as usual, which has not been modeled very good. It looks very bland and it's not got that, it hasn't got that girthy feel that would be required for a big plane like this. So that is the exterior of the old model. Now let's move on to the interior of this one. Moving on to the interior, a fun fact is actually you can't see the inside of this hump. It's covered and you can't go inside of it, which is kind of a shame really for a cargo plane. So yes, you can't really roleplay here, but that's fine. You've got this little space here, which I don't know what its purpose is, but it's fine, you've got it. But there is this big, weird, awkward space, which is way too large to be called a cockpit. So I don't know what this is supposed to be, but in real life there will be a door separating the cockpits, the place where the pilot sits. But that's fine. We can move on to the cockpit, the so-called cockpit. The Airbus Beluga is actually just based off the Airbus A300 in real life. So you would see a very similar cockpit to the real plane. But in this game, it's kind of like a weird hybrid mix-up kind of thing. So to identify all of this, let's look at the engine screen. You've got 4 engines, which can only be seen on the A340, not the A380 because it's got a different screen. But on the throttle levers, you've only got 2 engines. Like what? And then you've also got a yoke, which is only seen on the A300 and A310, not the A340. So I don't know what this is about. It's kind of like every Airbus cockpit meshed into one, which is really weird and unrealistic. So yeah. Right, so now we've seen how bad and how weird the old model was. Now let's move on to aircraft development and see how much better the new one will be. With the exterior, let's compare it. The most apparent difference and most obvious one is that the variant has changed. So previously, we just had the Airbus Beluga, which is based off the Airbus A300-600. The variant or airframe is a little older and not that updated, I guess, but this time the XL is based off the A330-300, I believe. So it's much more modern and more aerodynamic, composite, whatever they call it now. Again, the most apparent change that you can notice at first sight is the cockpits, around the cockpit windows. You can see the Zorro mask here, the black Mustang that new Airbus planes have got, and also the little Beluga eye, which is kind of cute actually. So yeah, nice. And then next, as I mentioned, the shading around the nose and hump here, they've gotten a little better, but it's still quite visible, especially under harsh lighting like this. But it's just something that's very visible on PTFS planes, and I don't think it's really possible to fix unless you use Blender, which is not really PTFS style. Moving on, other than that, we also got the landing gear here, which looks much better, and also the back ones here. They look a little girthier now, so that they can support the weight of this big plane. And then other than that, overall, as I always mentioned, the shape is more streamlined and smooth, which it really is every time. I can't really deny it. Alright, now moving on to the fun part, the interior. let's move in and see. Yes, we have an interior now. And what I mean by interior is not a cockpit. It's a big space where you can put stuff in actually. But yeah, other than this big space, we've also got the cockpit down here, which you can enter via the stairs down below. So this little canopy here will probably be openable so that you can get into the plane. So just open this and then you can access the stairs here, which will lead to this area, where the jump seat or cabin crew and stuff sit, and then finally to the cockpit, which is now much more realistic. Yes, since this plane is based off the A330-300, it's now actually just exactly the identical A330 cockpit. So yes, two engines, and the only difference probably is the Zorro mask, which is visible from the inside, which is kind of weird, but who cares. Yeah, so I can't really discuss much on the cockpit. I've already done that in my A330 video, but yeah, overall much better. We've got the right amount of seats now, two for the extra pilots on long haul flights. Yeah, other than that, overall, what can I say? The new model is definitely better in every aspect and way. So yeah, thank you very much for watching today's video. So I'll see you later as always, and goodbye.